All right, so welcome everyone. We have a very special interview here today with T West, an Age of
Hello.
Empires 2 content creator, YouTuber, and what I'm calling Age of Empires 2's biggest math nerd. But that's to be disputed, I'm sure.
That's a contentious title.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel
Um,
like there'll be some petards coming after my castle
don't worry about it.
after
So,
that.
so T West, thanks for joining me here today.
Oh, yep, no problem.
Yeah, so I appreciate it, and just to reiterate, the focus of this interview is on just sort of archiving what's been going on in the Age of Empires 2 scene over the years. Just get an overview of your career and how all this works for you as an Age of Empires 2 player and content creator, and we're just here to have some fun.
All right. Well, math is always fun, so I'm ready for that.
All right, great. So okay, so T West. So what I mainly know you for, I know you stream now. I don't know if you always used to stream, but like I've been playing the game for shoot maybe like a year and a half now. And
Okay,
since in
oh,
the
so you're relatively new.
sorry?
So you're relatively new to
Oh,
stuff.
very, very new.
Then you're a post DE release
Yeah, it's for sure.
player then. Okay.
I heard in the like early days of DE when it now came out, it was like crazy bugs. Like there was like just bugs everywhere.
Yes.
And
And there still are bugs everywhere, but it's not quite that bad. Yeah.
and so I'm glad I came a bit after that period and sort of like got away from some
Okay.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I lost my train of thought there, but getting back to it. Yeah, so when I came in the game, and I was on YouTube and I'd always see the T West videos. And what I knew was like, okay, so this guy, he analyzes the game, he puts on nice fun short videos, they're math related. Um, so would you say that's
Right.
like your main thing in Age of Empire? Am I missing out something, or is that like your main thing, the guy that does the fun math
Uh,
videos?
I guess that's what it is now. I never really approached it with an intention to have some type of main thing. I just found stuff that was fun to do, and then went and did it, and throw it out to the chance of the YouTube algorithms, and sometimes it works.
Okay, so you're fully embracing it now. You're being like, well, okay, people like this math stuff. I'm doing this math stuff. I guess that's just what
I
it
don't
is.
really do it because it's people like I do it because it's fun for me.
Okay, okay. So it's like a personal fulfillment thing then.
Yeah,
All right, excellent. So I will get
I'm
back.
just lucky that people do like it.
No, we love it. So getting aside from the math stuff for a second, how did you get started in Age of Empires 2 to begin with?
Age of Empires 2. Well, I'd always played it as like
Right.
in my younger days as a kid. I have like this distinct memory of like sitting in the car outside as we were getting pizza, holding the box for the Conquerors expansion, waiting to come home and play it. But then I guess around like 2012 or so, at the end of 2012, I've been learning how to program, so I picked up writing AI scripts for AOE2, and that was I think around the time the Forgotten Empires expansion came out.
Right.
So I played some games on Vooply before HD was ever a thing. Then I kind of
Okay.
played on HD, but that was very broken. So then at some point I went back to back to Vooply for a
Yes.
while. Then uh, I don't know, just kind of watched streams, played AOE2 for a while. Started doing some tournament hosting stuff with
Oh,
Zach when they did the Raja's expansion for the HD edition.
right.
Then helped with Wooloo Kingdoms to move the HD expansions to Voobly, where we didn't have to deal with all those HD bugs.
Is is Zach Zero Empires?
Oh yes, he's in Zero Empires is indeed a guy named Zach.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm new here. I don't know
Yeah, I guess
everybody's name.
you're after the time. Like back in the
Yeah.
day, there was Zero Empires, Barbecue Turkmen, and Residence 22 making YouTube videos, and there were three people doing it.
Oh, nice. So I mean, so you're an OG then. You were here like back in the day. You've been around.
Well, there's people who've been around longer than I have, but by this point, I guess I've been around a lot.
Yeah, at least the people like me. And were you ever trying to be a serious player at any point? Did you ever have like pro
No,
ambitions?
not really. I
Okay.
just kind of played played a lot. Uh, yeah,
Okay, okay.
nothing really particularly ambitious for me.
Right.
You
Do
just
you
play a lot and you'll get better over time.
do you have any like fond memories of like the old days, for a young buck like me, this is sort of like
Ah, the old days. I
yeah.
remember I have this distinct memory of one time I deleted my lumber camp on Land Nomad, and I was the Huns. So like you start with -100 wood, and then I couldn't build a second lumber camp.
Oh
And
no.
then that's when I first learned that if you garrison your allies' town center, you'll drop off wood. So I had to garrison that TC
Oh,
over and over until I could build a lumber camp and then a TC. And it
I
was a
didn't even
team
know
game, and
that.
we ended up winning that game of Land Nomad
Wow, that's
somehow.
that actually sounds pretty fun.
Uh,
Um,
like if you thought deleting your TC was bad, try deleting your lumber camp
as the hunt. Yeah, that
as the Huns. Yes.
does not sound like a good time. Okay, and um, do you have you d- did you were you able to meet like any of the interesting characters from around that time? There was people like you hear in folklore, Age of Empires folklore,
Like in folklore. I don't know. I mean, I guess we started doing more meetup stuff around after some of the escape tournaments we had.
right?
That would have been like 2017, 2018. And then so I was pretty active in meeting people around then before COVID hit. And now I've been mostly staying inside. But yeah, all the I don't know, I've met probably several dozen people in the age community so far.
Okay,
It's always fun
okay.
to go to random locations in the mountains in Italy.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that, my friend. All right, so you started playing Age of Empires a few years ago, you just been around the community in a bit. When did you start content creation? Or actually, before we get into content creation,
Okay.
you mentioned you did some tournaments with Zach. What
Yes.
were the tournaments that you were involved with?
Oh yeah, that was back so Age of Empires streaming a few years ago was nowhere near as big as it is now. Zero Empires was always kind of the OG guy, but then he took a break from streaming to run as I don't even know exactly what he did, but he was running an esports team for Dota or League of Legends. I've never played those games. I don't know what the difference is, but one of
Right.
those and also for Hearthstone. And then when the HD edition, I think this was I'm forgetting the year, end of 2016 to beginning of 2017, I want to say. They came out with another expansion. So Zach had there's a lot of things in Age of Empires that happened because of Zach behind the scenes,
Okay,
and
man.
he kind of had the idea of going to Microsoft, or at least I think he was the one who initiated it, and wanted to have a tournament come out to promote the launch of their new expansion. So I guess me and Robo were the people who really helped him with that tournament, and that was the battle for Encore in January 2017 when the Rajas came out on the HD edition, which was if you thought DE when it came out was a buggy mess, so you should have seen the HD edition. I have no idea how we successfully ran those tournaments, but we did somehow. And I think at the time we hit a viewer record of 6,500 thereabouts Twitch viewers, and that was like the record
Wow.
for Age of Empires. Like nowadays, that's like T90 would just stream, and that's what his like normal viewer count
Yeah, it's such
would be,
humble
right? It's nothing
beginnings.
special. But back then, that was a huge number. And I think that was around the time when T90 and Spirit of the Law and Viper were mainly growing their channels. And over the next couple
Okay.
of years, as DE came out, they experienced a huge amount of growth that we hadn't really seen in Age of Empires before. I think Zach was probably the first person to hit 100,000 subs on YouTube, but now for an Age of Empires channel, but now they've like shot past him now that he hasn't really been as active in content
Right.
creation.
So I mean, so you actually before like the rise of some of the other big current content creators, you were actually
Yeah.
before that time, that sort of helping put things in place. So, I mean, you mentioned Zach, but you were
Mhm.
there as well, um,
Yeah, I
supporting and
wasn't really
helping
doing
that
any
out.
type of like streaming or content creation there. That was just more tournament stuff around that time.
That
Before that, I
counts.
was
I
just
don't see why that
watching and
does
playing the
count.
game.
I feel like that counts. Why not?
Yeah. Well, but before that, I was just playing the games on the Resonance 22 stream back in the day.
Right, right. The Resonance 22 stream.
Yep. Yeah, back on the old community games.
Okay.
That's what
Uh,
there's a lot of people who were back there, like who is it? LB10. I remember seeing him back on those games in like probably 2013 or so, however long ago that was. There's a few people who came up playing the HD edition who came up through playing in those community games who are now
Okay,
pretty good
nice.
players.
And okay, so pretty interested in Rise to Fame. So now I want to sort of get into like your content
Mm.
creation, the stuff that I and a lot of other fans just sort of know you for. How did you get into making Age of Empires 2 videos? Or I don't know if you did something before that.
No, not really. Honestly, when I make videos, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just kind of make them and put them out there. Um, I guess I probably started around like 2016, 2017 or so. I just like put a couple videos on YouTube. I wasn't really paying attention to it or doing anything special with it. I guess it was a little over a year ago, like probably like June of last summer, where the YouTube algorithm suddenly was like, "Hey, let's make this video watched by 200,000 people," and all of a sudden
Oh
I gained
wow,
like 5,000 subs in 1 month.
look at
Um,
that.
I don't know if you watch videos from other games, but there are like two main channels that I kind of look as kind of influences on my content. One is a guy who plays Doom called Decino, and
All
another
right,
guy is a guy who plays Roller Coaster Tycoon called Marcel Voss. And they have some videos that are like the analysis style videos looking at game mechanics.
all right.
Those are kind of the inspirations for the blue thumbnail ones that I have. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, and then there's the pacifist videos, which are where I try to beat the campaigns with 0 kills. Some of the content I come up with is just stuff that I see other people do in other games, and I think, oh, that might be fun to try in Age of Empires. And so one of the things I saw was, oh, hello, Deco. Explanations of Doom speedruns, where you win
Right.
like you have to speedrun the level while getting 0 kills or not even that, without shooting or harming an enemy. And so I thought, that might be fun to try in Age of Empires. And then apparently the YouTube algorithms really liked it. And I remember watching the video. It was like, oh, this video got about 2,000 views. And then, like, 3 or 4 days later, it suddenly jumped and got 10,000 views. And then it
Oh
jumped and got
wow.
50,000 views. And so I just made a few more of those. And then sub count just kind of jumped after that. And then I started making more of those mathy analysis videos.
All
And
right.
those seem to have done well as well. That seems to be what people know me as, is the person who sees something weird in a game, then I'll make a video about it.
So I think maybe here I want to play. I have a 2 minute video here. I just found like one of the
Right.
random videos in chat. Maybe I want to play a little video for some people in the audience because not all of my audience is actually Age of Empires 2. I actually do have some people
Okay.
here that have never played the game. So we will take a small detour while I play this video. I'll send you the video as well. I have no idea
All
what's
right.
gonna be in this video, so I apologize in advance if TOS says or does anything out of the ordinary. I take no responsibility. I'm just playing around.
Oh,
All
okay.
right.
This one.
Is that a good one, Drew?
That's a perfect one.
Okay, well, there we go. Let me cue it up. And let's see. Right.
The undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have, than fly to others that we know not of. Death is forever, but what if I told you you could live more than only once? Well, in Age of Empires 2, you can. All you need to do is garrison inside of a building just as you're dying. Let's check it out. Here we have a couple of villagers standing underneath our town center. With the game paused, we delete the villagers and garrison them. Unpausing the game, they end up inside the TC but have 0 HP. If we ungarrison one
Wow.
immediately, then we throw out a corpse. But while units are garrisoned inside of buildings, they slowly regenerate their health. And if we leave the villager inside of the TC for a few moments, we see that an HP bar appears underneath its icon. If we ungarrison it now, then we see that it's still alive. Now that was easy to set up because we issued 2 orders while the game was paused, but if you pay attention to enough multiplayer games, eventually you'll see this happen. Let's pick the server with the greatest ping and see if we can get a dead unit garrisoned. With a bit of lag, we issue delete and garrison orders back to back, and there we go, a dead villager garrisoned inside of a town center. Take this as a small FYI. If you notice that you somehow have garrisoned a dead unit, don't ungarrison it immediately. Instead, let it first heal up, because it will come back to life. Thank you all very much for watching. Extra thanks to everyone supporting me on Patreon, and I'll see you next time.
Nice. Okay, yeah. So you are basically a developer's worst nightmare, right? You find all these bugs on
uh,
exploit, and then you put it on your little YouTube channel to get the views, and everybody knows that they're making like a buggy mess. Is that the relationship you have with
well,
the developers?
I have no idea. I would hope that developers would see bugs and fix them, but for the most part,
Yeah.
it's like I just look down the list of bugs Scripter fixed that are still broken in DE and make videos about them.
Oh wow.
But,
Um,
but
yeah,
yeah,
yes.
I don't know. I hope that it's helpful because I do sometimes make videos about like the Arabia changes. I go
Right,
through the
yeah.
maps and step through
Oh,
them
those are like
line
the
by line.
best. I love those videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you're an oddity, you're a finder of oddities and weird tricks, and you love just making content about those. And you get some nice video editing chops there, I saw the little pans and zooms you were doing. I was like, look at this
Pans and
guy.
zooms. Yeah, I honestly have no idea what I'm doing for video editing. Like, I think when I was in the 8th grade, I made a school project in Windows Movie Maker that had some photos in it of when we played basketball, and that's the
Right.
only video editing experience I have in my life before doing this.
And look how far you've come, I mean, yeah, I mean, I saw you had some chops in there. I saw some nice stuff. Um,
Nico's asking, can a villager be killed by an archer and then garrison to come back to life? If they haven't fixed that bug, then yes. You'll see it
wow.
happen, or at least I've seen it happen a few times in various games. Like
So if,
all those
if
videos come from stuff that I've seen happen in games,
you
pretty
notice,
much.
I never notice these things. Like if those things happen like 1,000 times, I literally like never ever notice. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
so it's
I've learned to keep an eye out for stuff like that.
maybe you just have like incredible lag or something, and that's
Yeah,
why
I mean,
you're
I've
fine.
also been around for a while at this point. I've seen a lot of games.
Okay, yeah, yeah. All right. So I mean, so very interesting stuff. Do you have some sort of like a creative process that you go through when you're making these videos?
Not really. No. As everything is just kind of ad hoc. Uh, I mean, so I see a bug in game. I go through the game to find out why it happens. I write a script and then I record it, throw it into a video editor, grab some in-game footage to demonstrate it, and then upload the video.
Okay.
It's
Have you
if anyone has ideas for what to do, then please help because I have no idea what I'm doing. But
have you ever like encountered a bug where it's like, oh, this bug is great, but then you were never able to replicate it again?
there's a couple. There's like one of the ones I'm looking at now is mangonels. Sometimes they just refuse to fire if you do something weird with the attack ground. I can replicate it with other units that have a frame delay, but mangonels have 0 frame delay, and I can't figure out why
Well, I get it.
they
Just
don't like
watch my
firing
games. I get it like every single day. Like I swear to God, my manglers will never fire. I attack ground and they just
Yep.
do nothing.
Yeah,
You know,
that's one I don't know about. There's things like if you have an archer, you can see there's a delay between when it starts drawing the bow back and when it fires. And
yeah.
if you like move the archer, you cancel the attack and then it needs to reload. But mangonels don't have a delay. It's like they have a zero, like that value is set to 0 seconds. So I don't know. Like the same thing seems like it's happening, but I don't know why. Maybe it's just
Okay.
lag at the end. But
Okay, okay. Well, I hope you do discover it because that would like
I'd
I'll
like
gain
to
like
know
a
it too,
hundred
'cause
elo.
I'd like my mangonels to
Yeah,
shoot.
I get like 100 elo immediately the next day. All right. So yeah, so you have had some bugs that you haven't been able to discover. Does that keep you back though? Like, is it ever like, okay, I'm not releasing a video until I discover and record this happening? Has that ever like held
Not
you back?
really.
No?
I
Just sort of
don't really
move
have
on.
like I don't really feel like pressure to upload all the time. And well, whenever I feel like I just make videos and put them out.
Okay,
I
okay.
have enough. I have a long enough list of bugs to look into that I'm never, at least so far, I'm not out of ideas.
Oh, wow. Oh, so you actually
Sometimes things just get shoved further down the list.
yeah, so you actually do so you have like a long list of bugs, really? I find it interesting. How many bugs?
I
Is it
don't know. I just keep the
in the
list in my head,
dozens?
honestly.
Oh,
Dozens,
you keep it mentally?
I guess.
Gotta write
Yeah,
that stuff
no,
down.
maybe it would be good for me to just write them down, but there's just
Maybe.
so many things I've seen over the years. I have a folder with old recorded games that just have a few
Oh,
like weird quirks in them. Now, that's something I like doing in the videos. Like there was one, like Viper and Tim played in a quite notable series on Arabia back in 2012, and they had the idle villager kidnap bug inside of one of the scouts. And I was like, hey, I remember seeing that in that recorded game from what's that, 9 years ago at this point. So that'll be good for a video.
yeah. Your memory sounds crazy to me. You not only do you remember moments, but you also remember which videos they're in. God damn. I can't tell you what I did in my like 5 games last night, let alone 2 years ago.
You don't gotta remember every game. You just gotta remember the ones with the bugs in them.
Okay, so every game then. Got
Maybe on the definitive edition.
got Okay, okay. All right. So are you're not doing this full time, are you? You're not a full-time
No,
YouTube content creator. Okay, yeah.
nope.
Would you like to be?
I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be doing Age of Empires full time if I was doing YouTube stuff. I feel like I'd be doing probably some type of programming or math stuff, even if it was just like
Okay.
tutorials or whatnot.
So just sort of go into some of your other interests.
Yeah.
Any reason
I,
you haven't gotten into that yet?
uh, I don't know. Just Age of Empires is kind of an easier thing to make videos about.
Right, right.
I mean, I have done a few programming streams, but they've been kind of Age of Empires related because that's what
Oh,
the other
what
content has been.
what have you programmed for Age of Empires?
Oh, I did. When I was making Tetris in the scenario editor, I streamed that,
Oh,
as that required. I didn't actually make that in the scenario editor so much as there's a library out there that lets you write essentially code to modify scenario files,
right.
and I used that to write the Tetris scenario.
All right,
And I
that sounds
basically
fun.
streamed myself coding for several hours
Oh
that
wow.
instead of making a scenario in the editor, making a scenario as a Python
Sounds
script.
sounds grueling. Okay, okay. So right, so you did say you wouldn't see yourself doing Age of Empires full time. Is there any scenario in which you would be like a full-time AOE or video gamer person? What would that scenario look like for you, if it
Or that.
exists?
I don't know. So far, I've just done stuff for fun.
Right, right.
I've never really
Yeah. So this is like your
I've
main
never really
hobby
put
then.
a concentrated effort. Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, okay.
I've
All
been
right.
trying to get back into shape with running, but the winter's coming up, so it's gonna be cold again.
Wow. Sorry to hear that. And how is AOE 4, do you think it's gonna affect you and your this as a hobby or even like your YouTube?
I
What do
have
you
no
think?
idea, honestly. Honestly, for what I've seen from the game so far, I'm not very enthusiastic about it. So I don't know how much time I'm gonna spend making content with it. But I'm sure there'll be at the beginning a bump in viewership across a lot of channels due to just people being interested in Age 4. Whether that is
Right,
sustained or not, I have no idea.
right, right. So I mean, just admit it. You're not as interested in H4 because it's a newer engine. It's not gonna be as buggy at some point in the future. So there's not gonna be anything for you to farm. You can't farm any bug views.
I,
Um,
I I expect to see lots of bugs from what I've from what I played in their open-ish beta earlier.
yeah. So
But
so
I,
you're
I think
gonna
it's more just like from my point of view, the fun parts of Age of Empires 2 are being able to mod it or to throw in stuff in the scenario editor and make scenarios. Like I played a whole
right.
series on my YouTube channel of like custom scenarios people had made back from the early 2000s. And Age 4 isn't shipping with any of those features. So I'm like,
Yeah,
what content is this game actually going to
yeah,
have? Because like as an experienced RTS player, I can go through the campaigns or play a game against the AI, but that in itself, so that's
yeah.
not too interesting to me at that point.
Yeah, I was thinking about it
So
as
there,
well.
right?
My guess is that I guess a more modern audience isn't as interested in like custom scenario stuff. Or it's not as popular as it used to be back in the day. and not of course an Age of Empires 2 scene, of course not, but I think for more a broad general audience, that's probably why they didn't see it to put it. But it also confused me as well because Age of Empires
Mhm.
2 and custom scenarios, it's like one and the same.
Yeah.
Even I play Age of Empires 2
And it's
custom scenarios, and I'm not even that kind
yeah,
of like
it's
that.
not just about scenarios. It's about like when T90 does his community games, it's not like he's playing Forest Nothing every single day. There's a whole
Right.
bunch of different content out there. Like we had the Battle Royale mode several years ago. We have I don't even know what it is. There's like a flying shark unit that becomes a nuclear weapon that you can train when you hold a monument. There's just so many different settings and so many different ways that you can play the game. And for Age 4, I haven't really seen that type of variety
Yeah. And
in it so far.
it would have been nice to see that on a modern engine as well.
Yeah, imagine Forest Nothing on a modern engine.
I would like not to imagine that. Thank you very much.
That's like it's horrifying. It's coming out just in time for Halloween.
Yeah.
Right?
Good point. So, okay. So I guess we're talking about Age of Empires 4 now. But ideally you're gonna stick to Age of Empires 2, I'm guessing.
I have no idea. I'll probably make some Age 4 content. I don't know what it's
Right.
gonna be yet. Um,
Okay. You don't got anything stored up in the bank?
yeah, not for Age 4, no.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay, no problem.
I played the beta for like 2 or 3 days, made a couple videos about it,
Right,
and that's all I know about it so far.
right. Interesting. Um, do you have any, before I move on, do you have any other thoughts on AOE4? Maybe you want to say or share anything we didn't cover already?
Uh, I don't know. I think it's just gonna be interesting to see if it has any longevity because I'm sure people will play it at the start.
Right.
But, a couple months down the road, will people still be playing it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's certainly an interesting question. So let's talk about Age of Empires 2 now. Your thoughts on the
Okay.
game and the franchise. So you don't actually like how much of the multiplayer do you actually play like online?
Uh, I play team games quite a bit. I just haven't
Okay.
really the whole like multiplayer queuing system on DE where
Yeah.
the only way to play ranked Arabia is on their broken version of Arabia. And then if I want to play Arena, I have to like ban maps and play a lot of games on like Migration or Ghost Lake or whatever. That just doesn't really appeal to me that much. So it hasn't really like the 1v1 stuff just really hasn't been fun for me on
Right.
DE. I did play a few team games with various people. That's still fun. I don't mind the different map pools as much there, but for, I'm kind of tired of just playing Arabia. People pick Franks or playing other stilly map.
Right. Okay. Um, and how do you feel about like the overall balance of, in terms of like the units and how balanced the game as a whole is? Are you
uh,
comfortable where it is
well,
or
I think the good thing is that it's no longer centered around tower rushes in 1v1s like it was
thank God.
before
Yeah.
4DE came out. That was the big thing. That sometimes it felt like every game was a tower rush,
In
even in
HD?
more like in Wooloo Kingdoms. There was a
That's
part
oof.
where like walls had been nerfed and men at arms had been buffed, which then made towers significantly stronger
Wow, that sounds
because you
awful.
could get the early pressure to build the towers forward. And then when they cut the HP back in DE, along with a few other changes, they made them a lot less effective, which I think makes the game a lot more fun. So it's always more fun to be playing with
Agreed.
units than
Yeah.
with towers.
I didn't buy the game to play with buildings. Exactly. They don't have buildings on the cover of the game, right? They have people.
They have three. They don't have a castle, a keep, and a bombard tower on on the
Thank
tower.
you. Exactly. I'm glad we're in agreement. Yes. Okay. So, how do you feel about laming in the game? And answer this
Oh,
very
laming.
carefully.
The thing I've always like, I kind of like the idea behind laming that it gives you something that's very skill based to
Uh-huh.
do in the Dark Age. I don't know if it's balanced properly. Where
Right.
I feel like
Okay.
sometimes the best answer to a lame is just to go and counter lame, which is just like you're now at an even game, but your scouts have less HP. It
True.
can definitely feel unfair when like both of your boars are forward and your sheep are forward and your opponent just comes forward with a scout and they can lame it and then your opponent has all this stuff in the back so you can't do anything to stop them.
Okay.
Especially since people have probably gotten a bit it's probably a bit easier to lame in DE without the as much lag as there was before. So you can more precisely micro that scout to keep it away from the boar and keep it following.
I get I
Oh,
will accept that answer. Because this is a no laming stream. This is an
the no
a
laming stream.
militantly anti-laming stream. But your answer, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. I've always kind of thought about maybe you could split the boar up and give players three boars with less food, just so that if you lose
Oh,
one, then it doesn't hurt as bad.
maybe. I don't know if I want to do all that micro though. But I that
Yeah, then you're gonna probably have newer players losing more villagers to boar in the Dark Age too.
yeah, I was playing with a new guy the other day and he lost like 2 pills to the ball.
Yeah,
It was
it's
so
so much
funny.
easier to lure them in DE though. Now they're closer to the TC, and you only got to shoot them once.
Yeah, yeah. Well, us scrubs, sometimes you don't pay attention to things.
Yeah.
I lost a ball in arena yesterday. Gosh, jeez. I'm so embarrassed.
Ooh.
Yeah, imagine that, losing a ball in arena? Jeez.
Yeah. I remember the days when the boars were outside your walls on arena.
Oh, wow, that sounds
Yep.
awful. What the hell?
Yeah, that's when you have to delete the wall to bring in the boar, and then you build a house there to close off the hole.
What? That sounds like so. What?
Yep,
Oh
that was
man,
the old arena map.
you guys were playing a wild game back then. Okay. The wildest thing I ever played was like days outside. No, not there, like sheep outside the arena walls. It used to be like
Yeah, they
so
changed
annoying
that a
when you
while
get
back.
lame.
That was kind of annoying because it was just a race
Yeah.
to you run forward at the start to see whose sheep are forward and whose are at the side, and then
Ugh,
one person gets lamed.
so dumb. All right, and well, you don't play 1v1s. I have a question on here about like the wall meta, but you don't actually play
Go
1v1s.
ahead, go
Well,
ahead.
what do you feel about the wall meta?
The wall meta.
Yeah, in 1v1
You know
arena or APM.
that's that's just something that's been a topic since the dawn of, at least since before I've been playing Age of Empires. People always complain about, oh, these players full wall, and it's so boring because you just wall and boom and go knights or
These
whatever.
boomers. All right, all
Yeah,
right. Do you
no,
think
it's
it's
kind of weird. Like the more open you make Arabia, the more important it is to wall because the more of a disadvantage you'll be at if you don't wall.
right?
So
Okay,
no. One of the key things to get right is the balance between towers and walls. Because if someone walls and you want to break through that wall, oftentimes you need to build a forward tower to stop them from walling behind and get some control of the map behind their walls.
right, right.
So and I feel like with the current way they've nerfed towers, well, like one of the weird things is that you have less HP now in feudal than you do in castle. So if someone tries to fast castle, then they can basically build one defensive tower and then stop your push, like they couldn't do before, because now their tower will just automatically win the tower fight. So there are some weird quirks in the balance changes like that. But like by and large, I feel like walling. I mean, it's not really as big of a problem as people make it out to be.
Okay, okay.
I don't know. I feel like the way to change it isn't by changing maps, which I think is what they've tried to do, but rather
Right.
by maybe changing the HP or the costs or the build times of
Yeah.
palisades and
But
houses.
nobody has liked them changing maps though. Nobody has. Except for the
I really
first
haven't heard an expert. I haven't really heard an expert player come out and be like very enthusiastically in support of the Arabia changes. Maybe there's something I'm
me
missing,
either.
but
Yeah. No, what I was
yeah.
saying, yeah, nobody likes when they change the maps. It's pretty much like leave the maps alone.
Yeah. I feel like part of the fun of playing Age of Empires 2 is that the map's random every time, and how they've changed the maps has made them a bit less random and more predictable. That can contribute to walling too, because like if you have three set forests, it's easier to scout your map and find where you need to wall.
Right.
Right? You don't have these random forests in different locations that you can like that you have to spend time scouting your base. You can't just like send a vill and be like, "Hey, I know I have a forest there." But,
Okay. Let's see. Have you ever played Age of Empires 3? Ever tried it out?
yeah, I played that a bit when the definitive edition came out. I played through the campaigns and I played some multiplayer games.
Yeah, and how come you didn't like stick around for it some more?
Uh, wasn't really possible to find games playing it. It's like
Oh,
that weird location where if I play a game against someone like who's new to RTS games, I'll just absolutely wreck them and it won't really be fun. Or
right.
I get matched up against someone who actually knows how to play Age of Empires 3 and then they'll absolutely wreck me and that won't really be fun. So it's kind of like a narrow window of I need to find people who are experienced at Age of Empires 2 and also playing AoE 3 where the games feel like somewhat balanced and fun to play.
Okay, yeah,
So
that's probably very difficult.
yeah. Yeah, it was kind of like that when AoE 1 DE came out. Well, that was even worse because it didn't have even like an elo system on it. But when switching to other games, it's kind of it's this weird like this weird balance area where like there is a bunch of people whom you're just you know how to play RTS games, so you'll be more experienced than them, even if you don't know the game that well. And
Right.
then there's the people who know the game really well, whom you're not going to be anywhere close to beating. So it's kind of hard to find the right niche of people if those people are playing Age of Empires too.
Okay. And so who would you say your like AOE friends are, like people in the community that you hang out with and you say you play some TGs with people. See, you get a little flustered when I ask that, but it's a
You know, I've met so many people over the years playing Age of Empires, and there's I've seen different people come and go through various stages of the game. So it's just like if anyone's around and wants to play team games, let me know because I could use more people to play with.
Oh, you can I mean you have a whole community. You can't be having trouble finding people to play with.
Oh
I
well, it's
would
the same thing.
imagine.
Like we gotta find like you gotta find things that are balanced and
All
work
right.
out.
Oh, so no noobs, that's what you mean. Yeah. You got too many noobs around and you need to find uh, some poor players on your level. I understand.
Well, not really, but like it's nice to find people who are consistently around, even if
Yeah,
they're
of
lower
course.
level.
Of course, of course. So any people that you get to play a lot of TGs with that sort of get those
I
balance
typically
matches
take
going.
Ornlu and uh and Lidakor when I need people, but I
Oh,
also use
okay,
them as
nice.
guinea pigs in my videos when I
Yeah,
I max them
so I don't
independence from
watch
them.
I don't watch your campaign playthroughs because I'm a hardcore PvPer for life. But I do see on I've seen his name in some of like the video titles or maybe on Twitter you mentioned him. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah. I've done some of the co-op campaigns. I did one with Ornlu. I did the
right.
other that's out now with Nadia, and there will be one coming up with the Viper at some point, but they need to release the rest of the
Oh,
campaigns.
oh, okay. That's interesting. That's gonna be pretty fun.
And I
I'd
hope
love
he
to
doesn't
see
lose
that
his
one.
heroes,
You hope he doesn't lose his what? His
his hero
hair?
units.
Oh, his hero units. Yeah,
Yeah, he's infamous for
yeah.
letting Joan of Arc die.
Okay. Um, yeah, so how has it been for you, playing through with your friends on the co-op campaigns?
Those have been fun. It's kind of an experience where we wish they were a bit more difficult.
Oh,
As we're kind of, if you're pretty good at Age of Empires, the campaigns aren't really
right.
that challenging. But it's fun, and I'm sure it's fun for a lot of lower level players to play through them.
Yeah, yeah. How do you think they could
I
make it
kind of do
more?
wish. I
Sorry,
was gonna
go
say I
on.
kind of do wish that they made some like new campaigns specifically for co-op instead of just reusing the old ones.
Okay, yeah, that
I've
might
seen
be good.
Attila the Hun so many times.
And how do you imagine they could probably make it more fun for like more veteran players?
You know the new campaign that they came out with the Dawn of the Dukes, the Polish one for
Yeah,
Jadwiga. I think that campaign did a very good job of uh, designing itself to avoid many of the limitations of the AOE2 AI engine. Because if you
right.
look at the AIs after a while, they mass up one glob of army and they send it to your base and it attacks and then it dies and then they do that over and over again. It's not like playing with a human player where they constantly microing their army back and forth or making more intelligent unit composition decisions or like focusing on specific hills or resources or areas of the map. It's just kind of one glob of units that comes towards you. And So the guy who made the Yadviga campaign is Lord Bass, and he's been around in the scenario design community for years, and he's made like epic 30-minute movies
Oh wow.
in AOE2 scenarios, and he really knows what he's doing in the editor. He's the one who made the Barbarossa brawl thing that I think you had
Oh,
mentioned earlier.
yeah, I
Yeah,
love that
so
one.
his scenarios do a very good job of giving like objectives to the player that are not just fight the AI.
Right,
There's more creative ways to go about and play the scenarios. And he does a good job of writing dialogue. Like he has some good funny jokes in the campaign, which I think was missing from a lot of the new DE stuff. So it's a good focus on storytelling and gameplay mechanics that are still. It feels like you're playing a game of Age of Empires, but it doesn't feel like you're playing against the Age of Empires AI.
right.
Like the advanced AIs like Barbarian, you can tell they do fun stuff if like you try to steal their boar and then they zigzag their scout back and forth to block the boar while you're trying to steal it. Or if you're fighting their army and 5 archers come off around the side and sneak into your woodline. The general campaign AIs never really reached that level of
Right.
sophistication. So that's the thing I'd like to see in the co-op campaigns. If like something specifically designed for
Yeah.
co-op that kind of forces you to face challenges with your teammate that are not just spam units against the AI and eventually win.
Okay, okay. I mean, that's some pretty good thoughts there. And that definitely would be better. I imagine. I don't know. I don't play, this campaign
you,
stuff.
you gotta go. You gotta go invite some people into your lobbies and play the co-op campaigns and figure it out.
Uh,
If you've never played them before, then it'll probably be a bit more fun than someone like me who's played them all with 0
maybe,
kills.
maybe. Um, okay. So sorry, I had the next thing in my mind lined up, and then like I just immediately forgot it. What was I gonna ask you about? We're talking about campaigns. And after campaigns naturally comes, right? So you mentioned scenario editors before and
Mhm.
Lord Basque, and he had. So it's interesting 'cause I didn't know he had like a 30-minute movie.
Oh
That
yeah,
sounds pretty dope.
he's done some really amazing stuff in the scenario editor. You got to go onto AOK Heaven and check out all the classic stuff.
Uh, so what other stuff are there like that? What other hidden gems have I been missing
Oh,
out on?
there's the story of Prince Ulio. That's I don't know. I can't really describe it and give spoilers because it's just a great story that's told through the Age of Empires engine. And there are things that the Age of Empires engine does very well, and if you're able to focus telling a story with the engine, I think that's where stuff really shines. So go back, get your original CDs out or your pirated copy on a PC, however you got the game originally, and and go play Ulio. It's a 4 scenario
It's also an area that you
campaign
have to
with
play.
a really awesome story.
Okay, I mean, I think I bought like every different version of the game. I mean, I do have
Yeah, I,
HD.
I have multiple copies of all the CDs
Yeah, no, I just have
sitting
them on
around.
Steam. So I know I
You
have
just have them on Steam.
HD.
Okay. I think it's been ported to HD. A lot of the really older scenarios, like that one from the
Wow.
early 2000s, they work on HD if you just copy and paste the files over.
Man, these things are old. Like, what the hell? That's
Yeah, the
ancient.
game's old, right?
Yeah, wow. Wow. So, okay, so there's a lot of these hidden gems around, and we should go up to find
Yeah.
them.
I don't even know what all of them are. That's just one of the more well-known ones.
Right. So, tell me about you and streaming. I know you have a Twitch. I popped in there now and again, but most times you're just playing those
But
boring ass campaigns, so I pop right out. But I do see you. You're on there. Tell me about your
yeah,
Twitch.
uh I don't know. I don't really have any specific plans for streaming. I just do it whenever I have
Okay.
some free time, and it's a fun thing to do.
And so you have fun doing it at least? Nice.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. And I suppose your Twitch audience is, people that have been consuming your YouTube. And,
I guess so. I really don't even know who the like where the Twitch audience comes from. I know that if I
right.
do different things, like if I do a programming stream, I'll see a whole bunch of different names
Oh,
in the chat that I, that I don't just see when I'm playing games. Like
Okay.
I think one of my highest viewers without getting any hosts was when I literally just had like my text editor open writing some code when I was working on Tetris.
Oh no, writing code.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what brings in the viewers. I'm telling you, some math textbooks, a nice math library on your green screen, and all of a sudden you're gonna have so many more viewers. You're gonna be getting offers from Facebook.
Oh wow. I mean, why I don't need to do that. I have youth for my math homework, so I don't have to get into all that. Okay, okay. Yeah, so you just do the Twitch for fun, the audience, just from whatever. Do you ever see yourself becoming a full-time streamer? Is that in the cards for T West,
I
you
don't know.
think?
I
No.
have no idea.
I mean, what will you
It's
do? Just play
I feel
the
like stuff is just kind of so kind of I don't want to say random, but
right.
just like sudden growth on YouTube algorithm was just kind of a stroke of I made a video that was good in the algorithms and suddenly stuff grew. So where
Well,
stuff goes, I have no idea.
maybe someday some weird thing in the Twitch algorithm happens and then you get like a thousand
Oh,
viewers
well,
per
that's the
stream or
thing.
something.
Twitch doesn't have algorithms like that, right?
Or
It's a
we don't
very
know.
different type
Let
of platform.
let's say something happens and you start just getting 1,000 viewers per stream. It's like, whatever. Do you then start doing
Mhm.
Twitch more, you think? That's not you think it
I
won't
have
be
no
anymore.
idea. Maybe.
Okay, okay. Um,
I don't know why I would, but I also don't have any particular goal or desire to do that.
right, right. All right. Well, I mean,
Put your Algebra 1 homework on stream and you'll be as popular.
I
Go ahead
don't,
and try it.
I don't watch too much Twitch myself, but the more you're on Twitch, is the more I'd watch. So I'd certainly welcome more TOS on Twitch, especially to hear um your perspective on AOE4. I'm waiting for that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Prob-
Maybe I could start doing Forest Nothing community games. I heard there's an opening in that market now on Twitch.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't. How will anyone get famous doing Forest Nothing stream? That's so bizarre to me. It's like the worst thing in the world.
I think I I
Worst
thought
thing.
about that for a bit, but it kind of makes sense to me from a YouTube perspective. Like that, why that video would be so popular is one, it's like this totally weird thing. Like who would play Age of Empires on a map with only trees? So you click on it,
Yes.
and then it takes a really long time for for that to pay off. Like you're sitting there watching players chopping wood, and you want to see what's gonna happen, but it takes, I don't know, 10, 15 years until they finish chopping wood and start fighting. And then when the payoff happens, it's like a really good payoff because it's these huge armies with siege onagers just flattening each other. So when T90 has that as his first video, I mean, I don't know what the stats are, but I imagine, he does a good job of keeping people entertained
Yeah.
as people are just chopping wood. And so then you watch the video and it probably has like a very high and level curve for the average view percentage that that YouTube likes to see when it recommends
Yeah.
videos. Because I know that's what the pacifist videos are. Like with the day I release them, I typically see like a level curve from about like 80 to
Oh
75%
wow.
average view retention throughout the videos with like a 30% click through rate, which is like a really good thing for a YouTube video. And I imagine that Forest Nothing would be the same way. Like it's interesting and weird and unique, so you click on it, then you have to keep watching the entire thing to see what the payoff is at the end, and then there's a successful payoff at the end. But
So
that's
so
just as my ideas about why that
yeah.
worked as a YouTube video
So is that
at
what
when
I'm
you started out.
missing? That's what I'm missing on my YouTube interviews. I gotta pad out the start. Just to sort of like sit down here and just like watch you for a few minutes and just be like, don't wait, not yet, TOS. Where I need to make some suspense here. I gotta build up to something. Okay,
You
yeah,
got
I'll try that next
the
time.
suspense.
I got on. I'm supposed to have
You got
on next. I'm gonna do that to him. 10 minutes. I just have him sit there and be like, "Oh, anyway, I'm just gonna look at you for 10 minutes. I'm building up suspense here." You think you go for that? Think that'll work out for me?
he's just gonna quarter and waiting for you. He's the perfect person to do.
Oh, you're breaking up a bit, by the way. I think
Uh,
internet again. Hold on.
yeah, give it a
Uh,
minute to come back.
yeah, it's coming back slowly. Just okay, you're frozen, completely frozen. No, you're back, but
That's
not
true.
really. Oh, goddamn. Um.
Yeah, just give it a minute. If you still can hear me.
Oh, I think you're back.
Oh, okay, good.
All right. Well, welcome back. Okay, okay. So I
Hopefully, I
mean,
was gone for about 10 seconds. I don't think that was too bad, I
nah,
hope.
not too long, not too long. Okay, so pretty interesting stuff. So then I mean, the next thing I have on my list here is like toxicity. I mean, I don't imagine that
Alright.
you have much experience with this, but in all video games and anything related to the internet, or I guess just human life in general, there's some toxicity. For some more than others. Have you ever had any experiences yourself with toxicity in the Age of Empires community, the Twitch, YouTube, or Gaming Sphere? Thing you want to share?
Not particularly, at least not directed towards me. I'm always surprised at how chill my YouTube comment sections are. I think maybe actually reading the comments and giving them hearts to
Yeah.
indicate that I've read them might contribute to that. And if people think, hey, there's someone actually reading my comments, they might be less aggressive. Uh, yeah, there are sometimes like I'll go and delete stuff. Like if I make a video about like there's one video like differences between male and female villagers that I made, where I'm sure you could imagine there are some
Oh,
inappropriate comments there that
oh
I
wow.
deleted. But uh,
I can
but by and
imagine.
large, uh, by and large, things are
Okay, that's
really
good.
really nice from at least in the YouTube comments that I
Uh,
have. And from meeting most people in the age community, most people are really solid people.
oh yeah, yeah. Most people here are rock
Yeah.
solid, but I know you're an AOE zone though. I've seen
Oh
you
yeah.
pop in there. You know, I'm an
That's fun.
AOE zone like lurker. I don't come in there. It'll
You don't
destroy
comment.
me.
You don't like the posts.
Yeah, I will get
You don't.
destroyed in there. I don't.
You don't post memes that contribute to drama there.
I don't. I just post my interviews and I peace out. But so I mean, you've seen the stuff. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts? Well, if you have any, you don't have to share anything you don't want to share. But
Honestly, I kind of like AOE Zone. I know some people get kind of driven away by
I like it
the
as well.
drama,
Yeah,
but
I like it
but
too.
I like that there's a place that people just go and they make their comments, and it's kind of like it's separated from the Reddit or the more visible
Yeah.
places in the community. Uh, it's like your nice private drama chat sometimes.
Yeah, I kind of like it as well. People could be a bit more like real there, and like you could actually um see what people actually think about certain things.
Yeah, right.
Because we had such like a nice community overall. I feel like sometimes
Yeah.
it's not always in the best interest to like be too spicy about things. Because we kind of want to keep at least one place on the internet where it's at least halfway
Mhm.
decent.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
it's
feel like it's as long as you are honest and reasonable in your opinions,
yeah.
things typically don't get too spicy.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So every single person I've spoken to in Age of Empires, they've had at least one controversy under their belt. There must be for a complete interview, I always have to ask, like what are the controversies you've been involved with? So is there anything you want to
Controversy?
share
I have
if
I
you
have
have
no
you
idea.
if you've ever been
At
in
least I
any?
haven't had any like personal drama with AoE people.
You've
At least
never
not that I
had
know of.
any no mad beefs?
Maybe
No,
no.
somebody didn't like your equation. They're like, look at this guy's equation. What's going on here? You call yourself an AoE math nerd? What's none of that?
Hey, you're the one who called me that.
Oh, people thinking it. Everybody, I'm saying it, but everyone's thinking it. So, spread out the law
You
never
heard I
hit you.
killed Zach? No,
Oh
that's not
my
true.
God.
That's just rumors.
So, spread out the law never hit you up on AoE zone and be like, listen, this guy, he said some shit about this bug on this
No, I've
video.
never actually talked to him.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never. I think I've commented on a few of his videos, but I've never really interacted with him.
I just assumed the two of you were like best friends. Like because I watch both of your videos like a lot, and I was like, well, of course these two obviously talk to each other. This is the most like
No,
obvious
he
thing
kind
in
of
the
has
world.
his own his own community that's mostly just his YouTube channel.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, I know he's a very private guy. I reached out to him for an interview actually, but he said it's not his jam right now. But
Yeah, he probably sent you like one of the nicest emails you've ever written.
yeah, it was a pretty nice
Saying
email.
no. Yeah.
But I am hopeful that one day I have him on. Okay, but I don't want to talk about him too much. I know he likes his privacy, so I won't like ask about him. But who are the other math people in Age of Empires? Any other math?
Any other math
Elo.
people? Is I know I've done some programming stuff with the Capture Age team
Oh,
in the
nice.
past.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's a lot of people out there. Oh god, no, not the Black Forest guy. There's a lot of people out there who like math. No, one time I got this email from someone who said he was like doing a like some type of PhD, and he like then wrote huge paragraphs about why Spirit of the Law was wrong about when to research wheelbarrow.
What?
Yeah. So sometimes I get stuff like that. Um
Wow. Yeah, I got a raid by the way. Streaming in the
Weird.
years. Thank you for the raid. It's I'm not familiar with the name to be honest. Is this an Age of Empires? Do you know? The Age of Empires person?
I don't think I've ever seen that name either.
Well, streaming in the years, I appreciate the raid. Like, thank you and everybody now who's spamming the chat.
True is math
Shade. There's
PhD.
no shade. There's no shade here. Wow. So for everybody who's now here, we are speaking with T West. T West, Age of Empires 2,
Hello.
biggest math nerd. I'm coining that today. It may make him a bit uncomfortable. It may make other math nerds in the community very upset. So I apologize in advance for starting the drama, but it is what it is. And we've been having a very lovely time so far, talking about all things that I don't understand, math related, and just talking about his time in Age of Empires and his community. And you all came at the exact perfect time because I was asking him about his controversies in Age of Empires 2, and allegedly he has none, which I would still say I don't believe, but
Maybe you
it's
can start
alright.
one.
I already did. You're the Age of Empires 2 biggest math nerd, and we're gonna see a thread on AOE Zone. It's gonna be like, I heard Gwen Franco and T West talking shit, and I'm here to correct the record, but we'll see when it happens. All right. So, okay, so back to the interview, right? So I guess we'll skip right past controversies. All right, so before I get into my favorite section, it's on my list, so I have to. There's a section here, it's called politics. I want to give everybody who comes to my show the opportunity to just like, if they have anything about the world they want to talk about or say, I like to always let people. So I don't know if you have any
Any
burning desire
any
to say
politics?
anything. Yeah, anything politics that you
You
want to
have
mention.
anything specific to talk about in the
Mm,
politics
well, I'm
in
from
general?
Trinidad. You're from another country. I would know. You know,
Yeah, I don't know.
you can skip it. I'm not asking. You don't have to. I'm just
I
like,
mean, it's kind of it's not the most exciting time for politics for me right now because we have another year
of
until
course.
midterm elections. Have me on in a year, and I'm sure I'll have more I
Uh,
want to talk about.
well, I'll give you an example. So,
Uh,
I
sure.
think a good one. Like, so when I had Daniel on, AOE
Okay.
Daniel,
Yeah.
he gave his experience with the rise in Asian hate crimes in like the U.S. where people would just like attack random people on the street of like Asian descent for like no reason, and he was actually
Right, and he's probably
assaulted by
dealing with
someone.
that.
Yeah, so he just sort of like gave his experience, and you're just sort of like get do some less of this in the world, But what I think most people have decided to like skip right past this section, which is fine. But
No, I'm happy to talk about it. I just if you have something specific to talk about,
um,
you know,
you usually don't like
I
to
don't know.
like
Here's something
ask me anything
political.
specific. Sorry.
I'm a fan of getting vaccinated for COVID.
All right, very nice.
If
Me
you're out
as
there, you're
well.
watching the stream, get vaccinated to keep yourself and your family safe.
Well, that's very nice. I appreciate that.
There,
I endorse that as
I'll give
well.
you a
Positive
PSA.
message. Nathan Amiet is asking, "What the heck is this? Where are the violent video games?" Nathan,
Video
we're
game.
doing an interview. I want to shout out. I'm taking a pause. I want to shout out my good pal here, Nathan Amiet. He started playing like 3 weeks ago. I hang out on the official Discord. The AOE Discord.
Mm,
We got
yeah.
a lot of new players that filter in there now and again, and I try my best to like show them the ropes. And this guy has been like learning very fast. Apparently, he's like top
You've been grinding.
0.4% in Valorant as well on their elo ladder. So he's
Ooh.
I guess a pro FPS player,
Yeah. I don't know
and
how well that crosses over to
it does not.
Age of Empires,
He's
but maybe
complete
it does.
gabble right now. But I told him like in 5 months, if he follows my training regime, I have like the training plan for new players. I run them through the ropes. Takes
Okay.
about 2 hours. Yeah, if he follows the training plan, he'd get top 1% in no time. Anyway, hey, so back to the interview. I don't know why we
Okay,
went
well,
off
so
on.
what's this training plan? Like, maybe I want to improve. Maybe I should
Okay, yeah, Mr.
start
1700
training.
1v1s. It's simple. So I run them through the mods, the small trees, the fish borders.
Okay.
I throw in some stuff in there, like I throw in the transparency
Like
UI,
the clickable failed trees mod. I heard that's a good one.
clickable fell trees. I actually don't know
Oh
that
yeah.
one. Oh, that one.
Oh, that's a pretty good one. You should look up a YouTube video about it.
Okay, anyway. Yeah, and yes, I run them through the mods. Then I have them install the hotkey trainer and also the build order trainer. And
Okay.
and they always be like, okay, so we're gonna play AI. And I was like, no, we're not playing the AI. We're gonna go into this, we're gonna go into skirmish, we're gonna practice that hotkey, we're gonna practice the scout build order, and you
Yeah.
will not
There
play a
wasn't any of
game
that
until
stuff
you
back
learn
in the
that.
day
Was that? Yeah.
when I was loading the game. I learned. Do you know who Chris is? You might be too
Chris,
new
I've heard the
for
name
knowing
actually.
Chris.
I've heard the
He's
name.
back in like I think this was like 2012 when I was starting. I learned AOE2 by reading his book. We didn't have like YouTube videos or hockey trainers or whatever back then. I bought a book and I read the book. And it was a really great book, and it
Oh,
has
it's a
lots of like
book.
the
Wow.
little pieces of trivia in it. Like that's how I learned. Like you can snipe the 1 HP farms, or like the scouts get their +2 attack when you reach the feudal age. Tons of little bits
Nice.
and pieces like that. It's like the Spirit of the Law channel before Spirit of the Law had a YouTube. But it's a book written by an expert player.
So what you're
I've,
saying is I should write a book.
Oh yeah, definitely put don't take screenshots. What you gotta do, you gotta make little ASCII art of a lumber camp and a wood line to demonstrate where to put your villagers. That's the
You
key.
didn't take screenshots? What the hell?
Well, it was probably difficult to include it in like the whatever format he was going for in the
Okay,
book.
okay, all right.
I think it was just it's like some Amazon thing you can download on a Kindle or whatever e-reader
Okay,
you
okay.
have.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I run them, and then I change their hotkeys because the hotkeys in this game are gobble. Um, I put everything QWERT and
Okay.
TGB. Everything from there go back. Your hand never leaves those. Your left hand never leaves TG and B. And
Oh yeah.
Control
I did
Z.
that many years ago, but that was back when we had single queue. So
Oh,
I don't know how ideal my hotkeys are now.
that's
At
the
least
thing
I don't
about being a
accidentally
new
delete stuff
player.
like Nadia does.
Yeah, 'cause I know like the Viper and shit. He does like the old hotkeys with like H's Townsend and shit. Like gobble.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's what I have H's town center C to create villagers.
mm-mm. And
As
as
I
a
played with Doubt's hotkeys once when we were setting
oh
up a
no,
LAN, and we had all the expert player hotkeys, but I didn't have my own. And since Doubt basically uses the original hotkeys with like one or two changes, I actually knew what they were. It was the closest I
awful,
could get to being able to play the games.
awful.
What is Chris's book called? I have no idea. It's like Age of
You know
Empires 1v1 strategy
that
something.
would be good to have as like like a relic of like a collector's item. And that'd be a nice collector's
Yeah, that would
item
be
for the
cool.
game. Yeah, probably get it printed. Yeah.
Age for
So
TC is good enough. Yeah,
I can
Nadia knows what's going
I
on.
kind of want to know that about my hotkeys, so I'm gonna go in. So listen to this. Listen to this, T-West. You're a
Okay.
math guy, so you're gonna be able to see
Hmm.
the beauty of my hotkey from like a geometric perspective. All right. So listen to this.
Okay.
We got
First, what type of keyboard do you use? Because I've used various
oh,
keyboard layouts from people from various countries. I
uh,
don't know what type. Do you use like a
it's a
standard
standard
like American
US. Yeah,
keyboard?
it's a standard US
Okay.
keyboard. Yeah.
Okay.
So Control ZXC. That's
Okay.
barracks terrain stable. Right.
Okay. For me, that's lumber camp, mill mining camp.
Awful. Shift ZXE is select all barracks, archery, and stable. So in that single sweep of
Okay.
motion, you can get to all your production buildings, right? And then you go up from there. ASD, um, castle, siege, workshop, docks, and then F for monastery. So same thing. Control,
Okay.
go to shift, select all.
You see, I don't use go to hotkeys anymore. I just use select all hotkeys. That's a change I've made.
Yeah, well, I use the
Yes,
select all
indeed.
as well, but if sometimes you just want to cycle through to get to your brax, sometimes. Especially
I
if you
use
want to
control
go
groups
back to
for
your
that.
base. Was that?
Yeah, I use control groups for that now. I
No,
like I
control groups.
if
Why would you
there's
need
like two
control
or
groups?
three
You have to
barracks
select all.
in an area I want to use, I use a control group on them. Otherwise, I use the select all hotkeys.
No,
It
that's
gives me
that's
more
noob shit.
space for extra keys on the keyboard.
Snoop shit. That's Snoop shit, man. And then at the top, that's where we get the economic stuff, right? So Control Q,
Okay.
that's blacksmith. Control W, university. Control E, that's select all markets, and not go to market. Select all markets.
Okay,
You know,
those are the same hotkeys I use there, actually.
there we go.
There you
And
go. You did
right.
something right.
Oh no, T was calling me out here.
Um,
I thought you were
I'm joking.
gonna.
I'm joking.
Anyway,
Your
and then
hotkeys are
like
better than Doubt's. I'll give you that.
like Alt Q, I think it's go to mill, then Alt W, like lumber camp. Those Alt on top there is like
Oh yeah,
those
Rob Chang
auxiliary
has a good
buildings.
point though. I don't have go to blacksmith. I have select all blacksmiths because
Oh,
that way I don't need to move the camera when I only have one blacksmith.
oh yeah, yeah. Fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah.
I think mine may be select all blacksmith and not go to. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So and then on the mouse, listen. I got Let me show you out here. I got
Oh.
a Logitech G502, best
Okay.
mouse ever made. It has how many buttons on this bad boy? One. Is this your interview or my interview? What am I doing here now? Anyway, but okay, it's
You have
small
the
tangent.
MBL style mouse. The best hockey I ever have. I have a Razer. I used to use a Death Adder. I think I have a Mamba now. Oh, says on the bottom. I have the Mamba Elite, whatever that
Right.
is. Um, Unpack trebuchets is the side button to go back.
What?
Pack trebuchets is the side button. No, unpack trebuchet is forward. Pack trebuchet is back. So like you press up on the mouse to make the treb go up, and you press down on the mouse to make the treb go down. Those are my
You
best
have
hotkeys.
mouse buttons for trebuchets?
Yep, I
What am
do.
I hearing? It, what are you telling me right now, T-West? I have four buttons on my mouse. So and when you add Control, Shift, and Alt, that's 4 by 3. That's 12 buttons. So I use
Okay, right.
go to
Yeah, so you're
Idleville,
MBL style with the mouse.
select all Idleville, go to TC,
Mhm.
select all idle TC, select all idle military units, select all visible land military units, select all land military production buildings. That's very important. Like
Okay.
when you need to click. Why am I
Yeah.
giving you this? You're like 1700 1v1s. Anyway, so we get the point. I got hotkeys. I run noobs through my hotkey setup.
Do
I
your
don't know why I had to
hotkeys.
explain for you for 10 minutes, but I would say this though.
Mm,
I would say this. I
okay.
do think that my hotkey setup is top 1%. I think with my hotkey setup,
Okay.
I can get anyone to the pro scene. Except for me, of course. I have no explanation
It's up
why
to
I'm
you.
not there, but I do think like a new player who's good at games in my setup, beautiful.
It helps 99% of all players, excluding you.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, and then I run them
Oh,
through.
also mechanical keyboard. That is very important. I saw
Yeah, of
Nadia
course,
mention that in the
mechanical
chat.
keyboard, Cherry MX Reds. What do you have?
I use a Razer keyboard. I think I have the orange switches on it.
Oh, okay. Orange suck, you gotta get it, but it's all right. I won't judge you. At least it's not brown. All right. Anyway, before I alienate my interviewee here, and he wants to like rage quit my interview. So I think I'll put a pin in the coaching stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I get so passionate about talking about coaching that I just like go into it. Um, right. So we were talking about politics last. I don't know how we got into here. Uh, so T West. So that's what we recapping as we move on. T West had a very nice message there. Oh, Mike from Earth in the chat, by the way. Just want to shout out Mike from Earth. He literally does not play Age of Empires. I started
He's just
doing
here chilling out.
Yeah, I started doing some interviews with like non-game people, like some Twitch politics people. I don't know if you
Okay.
watch any Twitch politics, but those kind of debate lords and debate pros. And he
Not
always
particularly.
yeah, it's all right. But he always sticks around for like my other type of content, so I've just gotta shout him out. Yeah, so now we're going into my favorite section of the interview after that very lengthy detour. I don't know what's going on with me today, but
The controversy and the politics aren't your favorite sections?
no, it's not. It's not because it's uncomfortable. Because it's like, I gotta ask them this thing. I have to put like a million disclaimers before it. Because it's like, oh, we was having this nice interview, then Gran Franco is asking me to open myself up to drama right now. So yeah. So, but anyway,
Maybe I need more drama. Maybe that's the
you
secret
need
to
more drama.
growing the
Yes,
stream.
you need more drama so I can get more views on my videos. For no other reason. But my actual favorite section is hobbies and interests. Let's go. This is
Hobbies and
where
interests.
we take the mask off. We take the mask off T West and find out what goes on with T West in real life. We have a lovely bookcase on the back there.
Yeah,
There's
as you
this
see,
yeah
I have a whole bunch of math textbooks I've accumulated over the year that sit on that bookshelf because I like doing math.
yeah
Uh,
yeah.
I don't know. That's more like a work thing though than a hobby though.
So what do you when you do math for work? Well, what do you do?
I do programming stuff. I used to back in the day. I used to work for a healthcare company that it's called Epic, but it's not to be confused with the game studio. They make like software for hospitals or
Right.
doctors' offices,
Oh,
which
nice.
is so whenever I go to the doctor and they write something on the computer, I'm like, "Hey, I wrote that program. I know what you're doing."
Oh, serious.
It's so oh yes, like it was so weird. Like one time I had like the nurse putting like IV drugs into my arm, and she turned to document stuff, and I'm like, "Oh great, now I know exactly what you're documenting. What you're typing into there."
It's interesting because I do work with nonprofits, right? And
Mhm,
one of the nonprofits I'm working with out of the US, they developed an app. Well, it's a for-profit company. They developed an app
mhm,
for doctors. I think it's like more like a checklist system to like speed up the process and help newer doctors out and sort of like figure out how to get the next steps for their patients.
okay.
And so we both worked in the healthcare sector in a way, in the healthcare tech sector. That's interesting. Of course, I have no coding experience. I'm not there for anything related to coding. I'm just there to help
Mm.
it get into the hands of doctors, from a charity
Yeah,
perspective.
you're not there to fix the bugs.
No, if I actually ever see the app and be like, I have no idea. I know that, but I have no idea what any of that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so you do some sounds like some intense real life coding stuff. What interest have you worked on any other interesting projects that you want to mention? Or just like
Uh,
areas?
I've done various I don't know how interesting it is for general purpose, but I've
I'm
done
sure it's
various
interesting.
programming language research relating to category theory, but
Okay.
I don't know if I can explain that.
Okay. I don't know if I'd understand the explanation.
Uh, I can
Yeah.
say, I guess one things I've worked on is a probabilistic programming languages for networks.
Right.
So if you think of something like if you have, say, like Google Maps, and sometimes, like, say, roads close down and you want to redirect cars to go a different way. Same things happen in network infrastructure. Say we're
Oh,
having a video call right now. Internet packets need to get routed from my PC to your PC. Um, there's a lot of that networking happens through physical hardware that if you want to change how the network topology works, you need someone physically to go to a router and make a hardware change.
right.
Uh, and say that's analogous to someone going to a road and putting up detour signs, as opposed to a new some new ideas involving networks involve, instead of having everything working in hardware, is to have some type of piece of software that monitors the network and can reroute your packets, which would be, say, someone on a highway who's using Google Maps. Instead of having crews go out to set up your detour signs, the map just tells you, hey, go this way, and you just follow that. Um, in order to do that, there's different programming languages that are domain specific, meaning there are programming languages that people write, not like general purpose like C++, but very specifically for doing these networking tasks. And I've worked on projects involving the design and development of those programming
Okay.
languages.
Okay. So I only caught maybe 10% of that, but you sounded very smart saying it, and the chat also agrees as well. So yeah, that's something. All right. So you do a lot of nerd stuff in real life. I'm sorry. I mean,
Yep.
I'm derogatorily calling it nerd stuff, but it's
Oh,
just
that's
I'm
a
just memeing.
compliment.
Yeah, it is a compliment. I'm mostly just memeing here. Do you do anything for fun? Anything,
So recently, I've been getting back into distance running.
Oh,
It's
there we
for like the
go.
first time in about 10 years. I want to get my
Nice.
mile time back under 5 minutes again.
Nice, nice. So
It's a long process of getting back into shape.
yeah, T West here is fit for life, you know. So are are you a fitness guy in any other aspects?
Uh, Not particularly, other than trying to get back into running. I was fairly competitive back in high school, a good 10 years ago or so.
Right, right.
I
All
have
right,
no idea
interesting.
how fast people think that is, but I
I
am
have no
cat.
idea either. Okay, so you're into sports then. You're a sports guy?
Uh, I watch basketball sometimes, but that's about it.
Okay, okay. You ever play any
I know
sports?
lots of people ask me that in the Age of Empires community, and I have no idea about any of the things they talk about because I've never watched soccer in my life.
Oh yeah, I mean soccer would be very big for Age of Empires, like the European and South American crowd, right? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop calling it soccer. So it's football. It's football.
Football is
The
something else I know nothing about.
bloody Americans always calling it the soccer. Dirty, dirty. All right, and so what about like your family life? I a broad question because I don't know what you don't or don't want to share.
Uh, Not really too much to share, I guess.
Okay, and
Uh, I don't know.
or maybe I
What do
should
you want to
ask,
know?
does your family, did they know you're like an Age of Empires 2 math nerd? Is that like a known thing?
Yeah.
Okay, do they support like it? They're
I
like, oh,
don't
yeah,
think
that's
they
cool.
know how, like, the internet works, so I don't think they've ever,
Oh
like,
no.
watched me, but they do know it's something I do, yeah.
So you have a boomer family then, so you don't even know. All right, okay. And but do they know you're internet famous? Do you know you're an e-celeb? Is that a known thing?
I don't know.
What about if you have any in real life friends, do they know you're an internet celebrity? Is that
And
like a
some of my
thing?
high school friends watch my stream.
Ah, for real?
It's
Yeah,
always
that's
fun.
nice. So you get
Yeah.
you get the cloud. Most AOE streamers don't get the
Right.
cloud because nobody cares. It's like, okay, you play game and people watch you. I don't give a who cares, you know?
Yeah, I
Um,
I had one guy messaged me once and he said, "Hey, I saw you in T90's stream."
ah man, that's amazing. Okay, nice. So I'm glad somebody is finally in the AOE2 community is finally able to like utilize that internet cloud back into the real life. That's pretty good. Um, and so you're from the United States. I
Yep.
don't know if you want to share like which part of the US you're from,
I'm
maybe
from the Northeast,
the
kind
Northeast.
of near New York City.
Okay, excellent. Do you like it there? Is it nice?
It's about to get very cold.
Okay, okay.
So,
Well, I've been in the snow once. It was awful, so I
right.
empathize. Right, right.
Yeah, so you probably don't get much snow down there.
No, we were not known
Yeah.
for our
You
snow
don't gotta
season.
spend 2 hours shoveling your car out just to
Nope.
not be able to go anywhere because the
N-
roads aren't plowed,
Never
and then
have
you
I,
go out and do
never
it
will I
again the next
ever.
day.
Never have I, never will I ever. Interestingly, though, 3 weeks ago, we had hail in Trinidad.
Oh,
And if you know anything
okay.
about Trinidad and the Caribbean, all we ever have is sun and rain. So hail,
Yeah, that
not
must have
something
been
you
a
ever want to
unique
see.
experience for you.
It wasn't where I live. It was like it's another part of the island. So people would
Yeah.
like post into social media. So when I saw the video, I was like, why are people throwing ice cubes out in the house and playing? It looked like a prank, right? Because the person picked it up and was like, it looks like an ice cube. Like literally, there's like an ice cube in my fridge, and it's like, so it's like a prank. They just threw some ice cubes in the grass and just pretending that it hailed. Like, but
Yeah,
then like I
that's
saw
ridiculous.
news reports about it.
Yeah, you don't wanna get hit by it if it gets pretty big.
Yeah, yeah. I saw news reports, so that's how I knew it was real. Otherwise, I thought it was like a joke.
Yeah.
So
I guess you probably also have to deal with hurricanes down there too.
yeah, because of my position in the Caribbean, the hurricanes usually don't hit us.
Yeah, they
W-
normally go north of you. Yeah, I
Yeah,
typically get sometimes we get them pretty bad around here.
oof,
I
that's
was
rough.
lucky to avoid some of the flooding that other areas near me had gotten
Yeah, sorry to hear
a
that.
few months ago.
We've only had like two hurricanes, I think, in like 60, 70 years or something, but I don't ever worry about
Okay.
hurricanes. They don't ever reach. But who knows, climate change and whatnot.
Yeah,
We
right.
got hail now, apparently, so
You got
I got
hell.
a brace for who knows what, maybe tornadoes, a freaking tsunami someday.
Oh yeah, we had
I
a
don't know.
tornado go nearby not too long ago, which is weird because we never used to get them here. When I
Yeah,
was
don't
living in the
mess around.
Midwest, we had like the buses had instructions for what to do if a tornado comes. It was basically go hide in a ditch, wait for it to pass, and then get back on the bus.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm not. I don't mess around with tornadoes, my friend. I'm peacing out if a tornado ever comes anywhere close. I'm peacing out. Um, okay, yeah, all right. So, but have you? I mean, you've done some. You mentioned Italy, so you've done some traveling. Where have you been to?
Where have I been? Outside the US, mostly to age meetups, I guess. When I was in college, I spent a semester studying in Berlin.
Ooh,
Other than that, let's see, I've been to, I guess, Italy,
nice,
the UK a couple times. We
nice.
spent a week in France after one of our meetups. And I've been
Okay,
to,
excellent.
I was in Austria once when I was in high school in
Ooh,
Salzburg.
that's where Leary's from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, nice, nice. Anywhere you're looking to visit other than Trinidad and Tobago, of course.
I have no idea when I'm gonna be traveling again, with COVID
Okay.
and everything going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Wait, are you looking forward to anywhere?
I don't know,
Uh,
mostly wherever age meetups happen.
Okay, okay, all right.
I don't think we really have much of a plan for that.
So that's Germany then. Let's say you want to go back Germany. Where else there
And
make
maybe
age meetups
maybe we'll
happen?
see Nilly's apartment one day.
Might Brazil, I guess, might have a meetup. Argentina might have, I guess. Any
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I've never been to South
South
America before,
America,
so
yeah,
Brazil or
yeah. You
Argentina
know,
would be fun.
there's Trinidad and Tobago as well. I am as the only Trinidadian
If
age
you have an
player.
apartment cup, then
I
then go ahead.
don't think our apartments down here can handle that. But I'm like the unofficial age ambassador for, my island. So I always have to
All
plug
right.
us. All right,
As long as
okay.
it's not hailing.
Oh God, no promises. Okay. I mean, favorite foods. I mean, you're an American. I don't know what you guys eat up there.
I'm an American.
Yeah.
That's a
You guys got
at
barbecue. What's that?
TwitchCon once,
Yeah.
I tried a wild boar burger. It was
What
awful, but I
the
tried it.
hell? Wild boar burger?
Wild boar, yeah, very
There's a
Age of Empires
reason we
themed.
domesticate our animals, my friend. There's a reason we domesticated them. It wasn't Age of Empires 4 themed?
It was just like, it was a wild boar, so it's like, oh,
Just
I'm at an Age of Empires meetup. I got to try
so
this.
so it wasn't like themed after anything. It was just wild boar meat.
It was just a restaurant offered it. I
That's
don't know why a restaurant decided to offer wild boar, but we happened to go to it.
that's crazy. That
And
sounds insane to me. Okay. I don't know. Do you have any favorite foods? You like burgers, you like French fries, hot dogs. You got.
not particularly.
I like those stuff too. We eat those
I don't
stuff
really
down
have
here.
favorite stuff.
Okay, okay, understood.
People
Yeah.
always ask me like, "Who's my favorite mathematician?" or whatever, and I was like, "I
Favorite
don't have answers for
mathematician.
that."
Favorite mathematician. Such a
Yeah,
niche
I was
question.
like, I don't really have favorites of stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird, but
So even though you didn't ask me back, my favorite food is pasta. I'm a pasta. Listen,
okay.
every day of my
You
life I
should
eat
have
some
came to the Italy
noodles.
meetup.
Yeah, I would have been in heaven. Every day of my life, there's noodles that's going in my stomach. Okay,
All right.
so yeah, I'm about that life. You know. Okay. I guess maybe I could ask you just a bit more about your career again. Just you're gonna go get your PhD in math? Do you have a PhD in math? Are you Dr. T
No,
West?
I don't.
Ever
No, I'm
plan to?
not. I've thought about that, but I don't know. I don't really want to spend that much
What
time
do you have to do? You have to like
in
invent a
grad
new
school again.
formula or something?
You you spend, I guess, 4 to 6 years in grad school, have some type of thesis
Okay.
in mathematics research.
Maybe you
So
do
it's essentially to show that you are capable of doing mathematics
right.
research.
Maybe you could do some
Math is
sort
kind
of
of it's kind of unique in that compared to something like computer science, where you kind of when you're in grad school, you kind of can hit the ground running and do research stuff right away. A math PhD is more of
oh
a long term thing where afterwards you would do a postdoc where you're kind of just starting out to do your own research then.
right.
And
Uh,
like when I think about it, if I were to study or like to spend time going back to grad school, I'd probably just end up doing the same stuff that I'm doing now, just like financially go. Well, one, I don't really feel like I want to go into academia, and financially, it's nowhere near what I'm would like even doing now. So I'm
yeah.
like, is this really something I want to spend many years in grad school doing? So I don't know, maybe in the future, but right now, it's not
Okay.
in the plan.
And you're a computer scientist, a programmer, I guess. That's what
Yep.
you do now with your career. Okay, nice. Do you enjoy that? I hope. I would hope.
Yeah, it's fun. I get to use math, so that's fun.
Okay. You sure you don't want to go do that math PhD, my friend? Sounds like you. No.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll stop trying to push you into a career path that you have no interest in. I don't even know why I'm doing that. Um. Yeah. Do you play any other games?
I play classic Doom. I've streamed that a
Oh,
couple times. I have
classic
some YouTube
Doom.
videos of that. Oh yeah.
Okay, it's interesting. I haven't played that in quite a while. Okay, do you play the most recent Doom, the Doom Eternal? I played that, a bit of that.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah,
It's
it
not,
was
it's
pretty
nowhere
fun.
near as there's nowhere near as much content for that as the original
Right,
ones
right.
have.
Yeah. So that's it. You just play the original Doom.
Yeah, sometimes I'll play Roller Coaster Tycoon. Sometimes I'll play some other games, but nothing really like I do Age of Empires.
Any CS:GO?
I've never played that.
Oh, jeez. It's okay. Any FPS at all? No FPS? No.
Not other than Doom, no.
Oh, right there, Doom, of course.
Back in the day, I played like Call of Duty 4 and Modern
Oh,
Warfare 2 when those came
yeah.
out
Let's go. Let's
back in high school.
go. Squad up, team. Let's go. Yeah. I used to play
Yeah.
COD 2. I'm not sure if I'm who's older here. I don't know if I'm you're probably older than me. But when
I
I
don't
was
know.
in
I'm 28.
oh no, I'm a year older. When I was in high school, Call of Duty 2, that's what we used to like play in our internet cafes. Of course, we didn't really have home internet in
Right.
in Trinidad back in those days.
Uh,
Very fun times.
uh, yeah, I did play Call of Duty with Onlu. We did the co-op
Oh,
things.
which one? Like the most recent one?
No, the Modern Warfare 2, like the classic one. I have not touched Warzone, and I don't know anything
Oh,
about it.
okay,
Well,
okay.
even if that's what the modern Call of Duty is.
You know what sucks? Like, so when I did finally get a computer at home, somebody bought me Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the original one, as a
Right.
present, but my computer wasn't good enough to handle it. So I had Modern Warfare, but I could never play it.
But
You
you
could,
didn't have a modern PC.
yeah. And that's supposed to be like the one of the highlights of video gaming, right? Like when Modern Warfare came
Yeah,
out,
right. When that
eh,
first came out,
there
that was the highlight
like
indeed.
was like huge, and I was just there like, well, I guess not for me. I still have the city, like I still have the city home unused. Like the freaking keys would still
Nice.
work, everything. Ah, geez, I'm getting a headache just thinking about it. You got any pets?
That's no, I don't.
Okay.
My mother has 2 cats, and my grandmother has
Okay.
a dog, and that's about it. Actually, I have to go to my aunt's house this week to take care of her cat because she's on a vacation.
That's very nice. Do
So
you?
I'm gonna be cleaning out. I have the fun task of cleaning out a litter
Oh
box
boy.
despite not having any pets of my own.
Do you like animals? At all? Just like
I'm
yeah.
not a big animal person.
Okay.
I
Okay. That's all right. Me either, really. I did have a cat once for like a week. That was something. Um, movies. You like any movies? You watch
movies.
movies? Yeah.
I haven't
Rain
seen
Man, of
any
course.
like
Of course, you've seen
movie.
Rain Man.
I haven't. I haven't
Come
seen any movie
on.
since like COVID started. I've not even heard of that movie.
You've never seen Rain Man?
No, I've not.
What are you telling me here, my guy? Rain Man? It's like the guy, he's like a math
Or have
nerd and he did some
Google
math
what that
stuff in
is.
the movie. What do you mean? What are you even
Have I seen this
saying
one
to me
before?
right now? What do you even.
Yeah, no. This is legit the first time I've heard of this movie.
Let me.
I'm,
Bruh,
I'm just googling it right now.
this should be your favorite movie of all time. Like, wait, is this the one I'm thinking about?
So you're telling me it's like a Goodwill Hunting or a Beautiful Mind type of
A
movie?
Beautiful. Oh, I think it's A Beautiful Mind. Oh, oops. Oops.
That's not the one you're thinking of, then. Yeah.
Oops. This is a math one, right? A Beautiful Mind?
Yeah, that's the guy who was at Princeton. Yeah.
Right, of course you saw that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Rain Man is about math as well. Right, right, right. So you should definitely.
Yeah, about the one about John Nash. That's a Beautiful Mind.
I
Anyway.
should probably. I should probably
Yeah, I've
rewatch.
never heard of Rain Man before. I'll have to put it on my list for a rainy day.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Very funny. Very funny. Um, Yeah, but hope you watch it sometime. It's a nice movie. It's about math, so I'm sure you love it.
All
Have you ever seen a math movie you
right.
didn't like?
uh, have I seen a
Not
math
there like
movie I
that
didn't like?
many. Not like
I
that
don't
many.
know. It's not like
There's
there's that many math movies.
there's
It's like it's not like math movies are like your epic all-time great movies, right?
No, Rain Man is considered a pretty good
Except for
movie.
Rain Man,
Considered a
apparently.
classic. Yeah, you haven't seen. I mean, come on, you
Yeah, that
have
I have
Dustin
not seen.
Hoffman and Tom Cruise in their prime. Are you kidding me right now? Anyway, there's the one, the Enigma game or Enigma Code with Benedict Cumberbatch about Alan
Oh
Turing.
yes, that
You
one.
saw that?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
nice, right? That was good. I think it took me
That
like
was a pretty good
two tries to get through that one, but it was a good movie though. But
one.
uh, it was a slog, but a good movie.
Yeah,
Um,
Turing certainly has an interesting life
who?
and a tragic ending, but
Yeah, yeah,
unfortunately, tragic endings are common for mathematicians.
yeah. Oh, that's like a thing.
Perhaps that's just the bias of noting them throughout history. But
Are you anticipating your own tragic ending?
I hope not.
Maybe one day you think to yourself, you know what, that Gwen Franco guy, he was right. I should get my PhD. And then you go get the PhD, and then like you go crazy in there, and then you end up in like a
Maybe.
beautiful mind type of scenario. I'm sorry in advance, by the way. I didn't mean to, push you into that part of your life. But okay, anyway.
Turn dark suddenly.
Anyway. Yeah, so before I interrupted you with my admonishing you for Rain Man, you were gonna talk about other movies. I think you said you didn't watch any movies recently since the pandemic.
No, the last movie I saw would have been in a theater was even like way before the pandemic. I probably hadn't been going to movies.
Wow.
Was that Star Wars movie, the Han Solo one that they put out,
Oh,
the one-off one?
yeah, yeah, I know, I
I
saw
don't
that
even
one.
know if it had a subtitle. That's
Yeah,
the last time
Solo.
I
I
was
think
in
it
a
was
theater
just
to see a
Solo.
movie.
I did
Yeah,
like that one. I know people didn't like it, but I did enjoy that one.
yeah,
Um,
it was better than I thought it was going to be.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And in general, I'm okay with like the Star Wars movies. I don't know. I never thought they were like that awful. Maybe not like rewatchable. Like I probably would watch them maybe once again in the next 20 years or something, but not like the worst things I've ever seen by a far stretch. Right. So you're not really a big movie guy, because you're awful. I'm a big movie guy, by the way. I was rewatching. I rewatched. I don't know why I'm saying this because it's not my interview, but I rewatched Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace.
Oh,
The
okay.
two.
Get prepared for the new James Bond movie coming
Yeah, I
out.
plan to see that. Today is Tuesday. I want to see that maybe Wednesday. So I'm gonna watch
All right.
Skyfall tonight.
About Skyfall and
Yeah,
Spectre as
after
well.
I
Yeah.
wrap up with you,
You gotta binge them all before going to the
yeah,
theater.
I'm gonna watch those two tonight after I wrap up with you, and I have a funeral tomorrow, so then can be tomorrow.
Okay.
So then after that, Thursday, gonna see. Anyway, none about me, so it doesn't matter. TV? You watch any TV?
Any TV?
No.
Uh, I watch I watch Star Trek, but that's like not on anymore.
Okay, okay.
So not really. Sometimes I watch basketball, but I don't really like. I don't own a TV,
Right,
so
right.
I don't really watch TV.
Have you
It's
watched?
if like stuff ends up on YouTube or various other online stuff. Sometimes I'll watch it.
Did you watch Picard?
I did. It was awful.
I think I watched like the first episode, but I did finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't bother. It's awful. Stay away.
Wow.
Stay very far away.
Yeah. Okay. So, anything else that I missed there? Anything else about like your mask off behind the scenes T West T Wizzle whatever I didn't get to?
I don't know. You still need help with your math homework?
So I actually don't have math homework, but
Oh, that's sad.
I should have like prepared something, anyway, right? Just to make you do some math. Do you have like a favorite equation? Do you have like a favorite formula?
No.
What? Come on, man. What are you even telling me? What are you saying right now? This is like a sports buff doesn't have a favorite player or a favorite team. What are you even telling me right
Yeah, I'll
now?
tell you this. You know what the best map in AOE2 is? It's
Yeah.
Baltic.
Baltic?
Baltic.
How is that the best math in AOE2?
Galley micro, man. It's the most fun part of Age of Empires.
Baltic? Oh,
Baltic.
galley micro. Oh, okay. Hard disagree, my friend. How is that math related?
It's not. It's just the best map in AOE2. You ask me what my favorite stuff is. There's a favorite thing.
Okay, that's the best map for you? Wow, Arena is the
Indeed.
best map in AoE too. I'm sorry, my friend. I apologize.
Arena's a good map, but it's not Baltic.
Baltic. Listen to you. Yeah, Baltic. I don't even know what to tell you right now. I'm like literally speechless. I don't even know what to say. This guy come on here tell me Baltic is the best map. Like, how do I even? I don't even
Yeah.
respond to
Well,
that.
at least you came and started playing in the days when they have fire galleys now. You missed the good old days where it was more
Oh,
fun to
okay.
micro the galleys. Yeah.
Okay, okay. All
You gotta
right,
go
fair
back
enough.
in time and play some real Baltic with
Fair
Vikings
enough.
galley.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So, that was fun. So I'm gonna go into the next section, which is the Q&A. So if you have a question for Mr. T West here, this is what you're gonna do. I think you can use channel points to highlight a message on my stream.
I
Can
got your chat open.
anybody help me? I don't know how that actually works. Is it like free? Is it like you have to pin points to highlight a message? I can't see. Do I
Let me
actually
see.
have
Oh, yeah.
this?
I can tell you to hydrate. Boom.
Please don't. I have to go in the kitchen for water now. I'm just, you know what? I'm just gonna approve it without going and drinking anything because you're being a menace to society. Approve. Mark as complete. Yeah, so do I have highlight message enabled? How do I enable that? Does anybody know?
Not that I can see.
There has to be a way, right? Is it in the settings? Manage rewards. Oh, goddamn. Um. Oh, you could use it. No, and I don't want to use the ask me anything because um shoot. Right, so edit. No. Manage rewards. So I'm trying to do it right now. Add new rewards. How do you get to highlight message? It should be okay. Mike, shut up. Okay, is anybody around real quick can tell me how to enable highlight messages? If not, I'll just have to move on and do something else. Oh, look at right here. Highlight message for 100 bits. No, not for 100 bits, for 100 of the thingies.
For 100 channel points.
How many channel points do you start off with? Does anybody know?
I just had from this stream alone 170. And I
Okay,
just
right.
spent 100 to tell you
So
to
I'm
hydrate.
so I'm going to I can make it 50. So I'm sure you start with more than I'm sure you start with more than 50. What is smart costs? I don't know what that is.
You should see when T90 messages me and asks how to download and unzip files.
Ah, you're lying. I don't believe you. I do not believe you.
He legit does.
Oh my god. Such a boomer. Change my stream to asking viewers tech support. Wow. Okay, so the first question is I will ask the first question to illustrate. What is your favorite color? And how do I highlight this? How do I highlight my message? Right.
Well, we already got a
What
highlighted
is
message. You're too
your...
late.
Yeah, no, but I'm already committing to...
All
Right, so you see you highlighted the message. What's your favorite color?
Yeah, cyan, right there. Player 5 color.
Okay, nice.
All right,
That's
so Nafil has a question
yes.
about random map scripting. Find it hard to create what you have in mind. No, it is cyan, not teal. If you look in the scenario editor, the name is cyan. So get your colors right. So map scripting is, I don't know. I feel like if you need to if you go to the random map scripting Discord and you have questions, there's generally people around there who can answer them. Zetnus has a pretty good guide for explaining how the scripts work. Other than that, it's mostly just looking at examples of maps and seeing what techniques other people have used and thinking of new creative ways to apply those techniques.
Right. Is it
Last
is
time I actually
go on,
last time
continue.
I created a map was Lidicor sent me a very sketch drawing he made in MS Paint of a rough idea he had for a map, and I
Ah,
just kind of molded that into something that turned into a map.
wow. And
Yeah, I don't really have a good process for it, other than it's just a lot of trial and error and a lot of looking at examples.
yeah, and I was gonna ask, is that the Siege Engineers Discord or is this another separate Discord?
Oh no, there's a separate Discord for random map scripting. I don't have a link
Okay.
to it in front of me, but if you search for it, you'll come across it. It's probably linked in the Siege Engineers Discord too, or
All
someone
right,
there will have
awesome.
a link to it.
Yeah, so Nafil, you can check that out. And before Nafil, I think there was another question. Somebody had asked earlier, what are your thoughts on the changes to Longswordsman? You know, they got some hefty buffs recently.
Changes to Longswordsman?
Yeah,
Uh, I don't think that matters too much, honestly.
right.
Buffing longswords is one of those things people always want to do, but it's never really been done. So
Yeah, yeah. And as you
Ki
said,
kind
you know,
kind of a I feel like it's a response to how people view eagle warriors right now and viewing longswords as a counter to them. But I feel like the longsword buff helps Aztecs more than most civs, and then plumes
yeah,
for Mayas and slingers for Incas kind of also counter longswords, so I don't know if it really helps there.
yeah, yeah. Aztecs, champions with +4 attack and buffs. Oof, sounds toxic.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't really go longswords against Aztecs, so they can make their own longswords, but better. For the
Yeah.
most part.
Okay, hey Nathan Amiot asks, what is the number one thing a new AoE player should focus on getting better at? And of course, I would have
Uh,
told him all
s-
this, but you go ahead.
Switching between the scout and the town center, especially throughout the Dark Age.
Yeah. So
You basically have a macro cycle where you're queuing vills, assigning your vills, scouting, and you have to swap between your scout and your TC to do that. If you don't learn how to do that, something's going to go idle, whether it's your scout sitting idle, your TC not training vills, or your vills killing multiple sheep or just standing around under the TC.
yeah, so yesterday we was watching one of his replays, and he wasn't in capture age, and I was like, well, the fact that you're not in capture age watching your idle TC time tells me you're not even focusing on the right things, So you gotta work on that
Well,
macro.
I don't know if you think that like idle TC time is the best thing to look at. A lot of players like look at that because it's very easy to see in the end game screen. Like you hit the achievements and you see your feudal time. But there's other things like keep make just you just kind of generally need to have a good knowledge of where to put your vills in the dark age.
Right.
So over time you don't if you don't need to stop and think about what you're doing in the dark age, then you have more time to do all the things you want to do.
Okay,
Those, are-
nice.
those are my thoughts.
And Rob Chang earlier had asked, would you still participate in ECL2 if it was to come?
That's not something that's going to come, but in a similar tournament, then sure.
Okay.
I,
Um,
you'd have to kind of define what something similar to ECL would be. Because the nice thing about ECL was it wasn't really like it's not like some Red Bull or external company was just coming to put a bunch of money into AOE2 to advertise their project. Zach had like a very AOE2 focused live stream that was like just kind of focused on promoting that one stream. It was more of like a internal community thing with Microsoft support rather than an
right.
external prize pool. So that's if it's something like that, then yeah, that sounds pretty interesting.
And Brave Sir Robin asks, think you could devise a better, more accurate ranking than Red Bull Wololo or MEM's King of the Dot rankings? Also, can you calculate what the area under the curve of a king's belly is? Wow.
Ooh, well, the King's Belly, you know, an interesting question would be take all of the 2D sprites and rotate them around. Does the area of the king's belly remain constant, or did they mess up and have him be fatter in some directions and skinnier in other directions? That would be an interesting question. A better or more
Okay.
accurate ranking than RBW or MEMS KOTD. I don't actually know much about those rankings. Oh, that's true. It's volume, not area, too. That's a good point. We can calculate the belly's surface area. But I don't actually know much about RBW or the KOTD rankings. I know there's someone out there who had a tournament website that tried to take tournament values into account,
Okay,
but
interesting.
I don't feel like we have a very good rating system or that we necessarily need one.
Right.
I think like the elo system on the 1v1 ladder is a pretty bad way of doing it because one, no one really cares about it. And even if they did, they could just play at different times of day to choose their opponents. So there's nothing that's really like I don't think that's a particularly useful thing to look at for tournaments. You could look at tournament only results, but then you're also getting the fact that we don't have too many of those. And I know that sometimes we use like random seeding, which means like if you have a bad seeding, like for Hidden Cup, for example, and you lose, that's going to have a disproportionate effect on your elo there. So I don't know if we have a good solution for doing that.
Okay, okay. I have two questions here from
All right.
Facebook, an Age of Empires 2 Facebook group. So Sean Chand asked, when is the boxing match between him and Spirit of the Law?
Oh, boxing match? I don't know if either of us knows anything about boxing.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, you're a runner, so you probably have like the athlete advantage over him.
The endurance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. And Rajdeep Mukherjee asks, I have no way I pronounce that correct. Does he feel that T West is T best?
I hope so. We're on the T quest to be the T best.
All right, there we go. Okay, excellent. Ebook asks, why isn't Tupper's
Yes.
self-referential formula your favorite formula?
Well, I said already, I don't really have favorites of stuff other than Baltic.
Okay, okay,
That Cyan's the best color, Byzantines are the best Civ, and Baltic's the best map. Other than that, I don't really have favorites.
And Mike from It, our non-Age of Empires viewer asks, what's your favorite AoE cheat code? There we
AoE
go.
cheat
Thank you
code.
for the question, Mike. Yeah.
I'll tell you what the good ones are. The good ones are the two cars from Age of Empires 1 and Age of Empires 1 Rise of Rome. They're much better than the Cobra car than AoE2 because instead of like some puny machine gun, they have huge rocket launchers and blow stuff up.
Oh wow. Sounds OP. Yeah, okay. Uh G Grady asks, what books would you recommend from the background? I guess your bookshelf in the back there.
Oh, that's a good question because it's going to depend on what subject matter you're interested in. No, here's a good one. The AoE2 Scenario Design Toolkit. So everyone playing Age of Empires can read that and learn how to learn the scenario editor from the Age of Kings.
Oh, you have a book there about editing the
Oh
game?
yeah, the early like 2000s. You ever have one of the strategy guides that is published for
No,
the
I didn't.
game, like
I didn't
years
get it.
ago.
Yeah, I know they used
But
to do that,
before
yeah.
YouTube and everything, they had strategy guides. Yeah, I have those in back there.
Wow, amazing. That's collectibles. They want you to show them. You want to
Sure,
grab
can
any?
we grab one?
Yeah, he's gonna go grab one. That is
I'll
much
grab
closer than I
one,
thought. I thought it was like all
and
the way in the back. What the hell?
no, it's like 3 feet away from me. I'll grab one, and I'll also answer another question. Do I plan to make more AoE3 content? Here you go. Here's the strategy guide for Age of
Oh,
Empires 3.
wow.
Boom.
Excellent, excellent.
We're talking about some books in the background now, but we're talking about the Age of Empires books. Oh, unless you meant background as in like not the
I
stream
I
background of the
imagined
video,
I
but as
imagined
in
it meant the bookshelf.
like experiences with math.
Welcome to the chat, Redo. Sorry to hear you missed the
Yeah.
interview, Redo, but I uploaded to the YouTube channel, so you can catch the edited video there and the between now and the next 5 days. Simon San asks, what do you expect of AoE 4 in the upcoming future? Do you think it'll be huge? How much did you play it?
I played it like 2 or 3 days in there when they had that beta weekend during Red Bull, and I did not particularly like it. So whether it takes off or not is going to depend on how other people feel about it. But I don't know. I've
Okay.
like HD edition was a buggy mess, and yet millions of people downloaded that. So like. what I think of as the quality of the game might not be indicative of, it might not even need to be a quality game to succeed. Depends on how they market it, which I think they haven't really done a good job of doing so far. It's like if you look around the AoE2 community, there's like no real hype for AoE4. Like no one's really talking about it that much. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I
We'll see
assume
in a couple weeks.
they're not going for the AOE2 community. That's my assumption, which I don't necessarily disagree with, you know. And the Nyan Cat asks, are there any programming or computer science books you found especially
I
useful
found
for your career?
useful. I don't know. I'm kind of biased just because I've used books where I know the authors, so I don't know if that's a good recommendation
I mean, like your
for
teachers,
them.
professors.
Yeah. I'm not,
Okay.
if you let's see. For programming, not particularly. I don't think I ever really used a book to learn. That was all done through lectures and slides and stuff. I've never really read a textbook
Right,
for that.
right.
For math, yeah, new series will take you 10 years to read. For math, I feel like in various subject areas in math there's like different canonical textbooks that you're going to come across and that you kind of should read just because they're textbooks, whether it's like that just because they're well-known textbooks, whether it's like Spivak for calculus or Rudin for analysis, or Munkers if you're learning your undergrad topology.
Okay, okay.
I honestly don't have much recommendations other than the popular ones generally are useful to read so that you've had read them. And we're taking topology next semester. Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, Rob Chang asked, which Berlin unit were you at?
The Free University,
Sorry?
the Free University of Berlin. When I was there,
Okay. All right,
there's also the
interesting.
Technical University and the Humboldt,
Right, right.
for however you say that.
Okay. All right. So as there we could wrap up the Q&A and go into the next and final section of the interview before we wrap up.
Okay.
And this is, I don't know if you ever seen this section of my interviews, the little mini game that we play. I don't know if you
Oh,
ever.
it's a mini game. All right.
All right,
Fit
okay. So
in
you're
the end.
coming in here with virgin eyes. Excellent. So you're gonna have 4 seconds to answer a question. Fast questions, okay? At four
Okay.
seconds. If you take too long, I'm just gonna skip to the next question and not give you a chance to answer.
Okay.
All right. Remove one civ from the game.
Goths.
Remove one unique unit from the game.
Huskarls.
What's your favorite civ? Not Goth.
That's Byzantines.
What's your favorite tech?
Elite Cataphract.
Trebuchets or catapults?
Trebuchets.
Which country would you add to AoE4 if given the chance?
I'm not a fan of AoE4 really that
Sorry,
much. I don't really
AoE2.
have any
Sorry, my bad.
suggestion. Oh, AoE2. Oh, yeah. Uh, I prefer to remove the Goths. I don't want to add more civs to AoE2. We have enough.
Would you rather fight one angry large boar or 10 angry goats?
10 goats because they can't attack villagers.
Favorite pro player?
Doubt.
Favorite streamer?
Doubt.
Burgundians or Sicilians?
Neither. Remove both from the game.
Poles or Bohemians?
Uh, Polls are kind of interesting sometimes,
Okay.
but not really a fan of either civ.
Would you rather never being able to pick your civ or never being able to pick your map?
Never be able to pick the civ. Like pick map random save is beautiful. Give me that every
All right.
time.
Reddit or AoE zone?
AoE zone. That's not even a question.
Um, remember you could skip these questions if you know, if anything, right? So this next question, Joan of Arc?
What about her?
Yeah, Joan of Arc.
Is that just a question?
Yeah, Joan of Arc.
I prefer Lahir.
Okay. The color blue or the color cyan?
Cyan. Easy.
2v2s or 4v4?
4v4.
Name one AOE pro you could take in a fist fight.
In a fist fight?
Yeah, square up.
Gosh, I don't know. I don't want to call anyone out. I'm not gonna answer that. I'll tell you one I couldn't. Doubt is huge. We're not in the same weight class. He'd probably crush me.
Pick one player.
That's true. Viper's hand is broken. We can take him.
Wow. Pick one player to never lose a game against ever again.
To never lose a game. Like I play them and I never
Yeah,
lose
you
to
will
them.
always win. You'll always win if you play them every time.
I don't know. I don't have any enemies like that.
Okay, I mean the obvious answer was Arnold here, but whatever. Who was harder between a Huskarl and an Eagle Warrior?
Depends on what unit you are. If there's no clear answer to that, it
Uh,
depends.
okay, Kill, Marry, Smash. You familiar with the game? Kill, Marry, Smash?
I am.
Right. War Wagon, Loom, Aztec Monk.
Aztec Monk Mary, definitely.
Right.
Like they have so much HP.
Yeah.
Then so what are the options? There's a kill and
There's Kill and Smash left, and there's a
Smash.
War
All right,
Wagon and Loom left.
kill the War Wagon. I don't like those War Wagons. They're so annoying.
And smash that Loom button.
Yeah, smash that
Smash that
Loom
Loom button.
That loom.
Okay, all day. Arena or Mega Random?
Arena.
Okay. Deathmatch or Empire Wars?
DM.
Nerf Franks? Yeah.
Franks are probably okay.
Get out of here. Nomad, regular Nomad or Land Nomad?
Regular Nomad.
Fat Slab or Huang?
Huang.
Okay. Age of Mythologies or Age of Empires 3?
Mythology.
StarCraft or Command and Conquer?
Never played either of them. Don't have an opinion.
Halo or COD?
Call of Duty.
All right, okay. And that's it. That was the last question.
That's it. All right.
So I think you won.
Okay, that's a
don't
good
know.
question because I've played Call of Duty on stream with Ornlu, so we
Nice.
got to finish the co-op someday.
Nice.
So
There we go.
go
Oh,
watch.
you're not playing the multiplayer? What are you
man,
doing?
we gotta
you
do
co-oping?
one day we got to get a whole bunch of people together and play Modern
Oh
Warfare 2
my God.
multiplayer.
No, you gotta go
Without
into the
making planning.
toxic online lobby. What are you talking about? Get people together. You gotta go
No,
in
we gotta
there
get like good.
and get circled at you after you die like 10 times in a row. Because you don't know life the game and spend like 10 hours a day playing every day.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so T West, thank you for the interview. Thank you for joining me on the program here today. I appreciate it very much.
All right, it was fun.
Yeah, and thank you for everybody that tuned in. For the audience at home, for my viewers, for T West viewers, I saw some of you come out and support your, one of your favorite streamers. So thank you, and the video will be up, and I have more interviews coming. So look out for that. And yeah, that's it. We'll just call this the day.
All right. Well,